John Mercure. Welcome to Focus on the Falls, where we discuss the issues that are important to those who live, work, and play in Menomonee Falls. I'm excited to be joined by Superintendent Corey Golla. Corey, so good to have you here. Thanks for the chat.
Thanks, John. Good morning.
Congratulations. So the district really has kind of figured it out, at least for the time being, knock on wood, a consistent plan that has led to consistent results in the district. Let's start with an update on where kids are as far as being in the classroom, at home, hybrid model. Where are we at as a district?
Yeah, we're very healthy right now, so that's the big opener. We're still at full-time, all students every day at our lower elementary or primary elementary schools. We're about to make a move next week to bring all of our elementary students back at Riverside and Valley View. And because we're so healthy and the semester break is coming, we think it's a good time. So should we stay where we're at and sustain these numbers, we plan to bring our middle school and high school back full-time at that semester break. That's really that's our goal right now, and we're excited about it.
That's fantastic. So as we headed through Thanksgiving and then we headed into the Christmas break and now kids are back, was it kind of hold your breath time to see how the student population and your educators did?
It was hold your breath, knock on wood. I mean, from the time we came out from Thanksgiving, we were healthy. We really sustained that, so we never saw the big bump here in our district after Thanksgiving. And similarly, as we came out of the other holiday break, we've just really sustained that health, and I have to thank our community for that. I mean, our families are being very proactive. They're keeping kids home if they're not feeling well. They're calling us if they have close contacts or they have cases at home, which is allowing us to minimize quarantines inside our buildings. So we are exceptionally healthy with really less than 10 employees absent on any given day. We've had a number of weeks where we had zero positive cases among our employees. Student numbers are staying low, very manageable, so we're excited.
So you and I talk on a regular basis about the state of the district. Are you more nervous in general when you think about the educator population and the staff population, or the student population when it comes to COVID and how that could impact the district?
We're always, so each week when we meet, the first thing we talk about is what is the impact on our students. So we're looking at that student health numbers. We're looking at student numbers of quarantines because that's very disruptive for students and families. That's our first priority, but then our employees right there with them, and we want them to stay healthy. We've got a lot of people in that risk age group. We have had a lot of positive cases among our employees, primarily coming from outside contacts. So it's the balance of the two. I mean, we're worried about everyone.
We're talking to Superintendent Corey Golla of the Menomonee Falls School District. It is focused on the falls. Vaccinations. Educators, a lot of people believe, especially those that are in the at-risk category, should be near the top of the list because they're with our kids and they're an essential part of what happens in our community. I know you're in a lot of conversations. How does that look? How will the vaccination rollout likely take place in school districts?
It's really starting to ramp up, so I want to thank our county because they're leading that effort. And actually this Friday, our school nurses and our health room assistants and possibly some others that are sort of close to that medical type work, they're in the 1A group, so we've got some people getting vaccinated this week on Friday. And there's discussions at the state level to move educators into the 1B. That decision will be made very soon, looks like next week. So we encourage people to put some public comments out there. That would be critical for our kids, critical for our community. We expect that they'll be moved. So we're preparing internally to be able to partner with the county to be able to get our people vaccinated as soon as possible.
You know, you talk a lot about community and about the team effort in the village. Can you dive in a little bit to what you mentioned earlier, how important it is that the community quarantine and the behavior be good? And they've been such good partners the last few months, and how important that is?
Yeah, exceptional partners, extremely important. And it'll be more important now as we bring more students back. What we want our families to understand is their instinct might be, well, now there's more contacts for our students at school, so we can kind of open up. We actually need them to be more restrictive with their kids. We're going to be adding some contacts for those kids when there's more students in the building. So we would love to see our families be even more careful with how many contacts they have outside, and then absolutely continue to let us know if there's illness, let us know if they've had close contact, keep those kids home, because when we're full face-to-face, if a positive case is in a classroom, it's going to result in a higher number of quarantines.
Student activities are still taking place. Some are really cool, some are much different than in other years past, but there's still stuff going on. How are student activities going?
They are going well. I was at the high school yesterday, and there are kids there taping for their early rounds of their FBL, their Future Business Leaders of America presentations. So seeing kids coming out of classrooms in suits. We have a new gaming group at the high school that actually had its first competition and won.
Oh, that's
so,
awesome.
You know, that's true Falls fashion. Let's just start. Our athletic programs are going well. Our boys basketball team is ranked in the top 3 in the states.
Yeah.
They're just exceptional, exciting to watch. So just, you know, kids, it looks different, but we're really seeing that we're able to do just about everything that we typically do. It just looks different and feels a bit different.
I love the energy when I listen to you talk, because it's clear that you guys feel like you at least have a game plan that is working in conjunction with the community, and it seems like we're in a pretty good place.
Yeah, we're proud of everything that our teachers have done, all of our employees have done, our community. And let's face it, like, I think we're all starting to see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So as even though the talk of vaccinations is frenetic, it's positive, and it's showing that, you know, there could be a return to normalcy now, and that's really exciting. So, yeah, I couldn't be more thrilled right now.
When you think about the district, what has the district learned about itself through this process?
Love the question, and we can talk about that a lot, but I'll focus on one significant thing that I'm feeling is we've moved the bar on what's possible. If you had told our people, or told educators a year ago that you need to be able to deliver all of your curriculum, all of your assessments, engage with students, build those relationships in a virtual environment, how long do you think they would have thought that would take? They would have thought years. We did that in days.
Yeah.
If you look at what we did over the course of the summer to convert to that hybrid and create that hybrid model where now you're teaching a virtual group simultaneously with a live group, how long do we think that would have taken? Years. We did that in weeks. What does that mean for early literacy, for closing achievement gaps, for career readiness? We've moved the bar on what's possible, and now I think if we start thinking that way of, let's not give ourselves these limits on what problems we can solve, what we can develop, what we can design. I can't wait for our next openers with our staff. I can't wait to get into these conversations of what are some other problems that have haunted us for a long time that maybe we can put the same level of energy into.
You know, I know there was a nervousness at the beginning. There still is because of the unknown factor in all of this. But I sense it being replaced by a sense of pride. I mean, I sense with you, with your team, with educators that I talk to, that it's like, yeah, we got a handle on this. We can do this. Is pride something that's kind of really bubbling to the surface?
I think so. I mean, that's, and I'm not going to underestimate what this means for teachers as we bring more students back. That's scary. I know there's families who are nervous about this. But yeah, we've been there for our students through all of this. From the very first day, we said, let's remain there for our kids when they can't be here with us. And I think that's just carried through. And yeah, teachers are tired. This has been hard. This has tested them in ways that they've never imagined. But I think there is a sense of we've done this. We've stayed there. People see them as essential. I feel that. I mean, there was some energy as I walked through those buildings and get to see teachers. So I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this team.
Because of the success that the district has experienced and other districts have we seen the end of snow days? Once the pandemic's done, will there be no more snow days?
Yeah, I think there'll always be some of that because teachers have kids too. So, it's hard. It is hard to teach virtually when you're home and you've got your own kids to contend with, but it's created some new options. And I think there's a lot of things that we used to do that now we can think, well, is there a virtual solution to this? I hate to talk about it, but I think about suspensions. We shouldn't need to send kids home without instruction anymore.
That's a great point.
But more importantly, when students are ill for a long period of time, they need to be at home, maybe they're hospitalized. We can use these things we've learned, how we connect with families, how can we make contact with families more convenient for them, how we do parent-teacher conferences, all of those things. We've learned so much through all of this, and it will change education forever.
There is a lot to be proud of. I'm proud to be part of the district and of the work you and your team do. Thank you for everything you do for our families and for our community. Corey Golla, Focus on the Falls. Thank you, Corey.
Thanks, John. Great to have the talk.
Welcome back to Focus on the Falls. I'm John Mercure. Excited to be joined by a couple very special guests. I have Mike Tamas. He is the media creations teacher here at North, and I'm also joined by Caden Levenhagen and Ava Kazarowski. Thank you so much for being with us. All right, I'm going to talk to your teacher in a second here, but I'm really excited to talk to you guys about the cool commercials. I watched some of the commercials. They're fun. They're interesting. Tell me what you felt. I'll start with you, Caden, when you found out you were going to be doing the commercial and you were going to own it from beginning to end. How'd you feel about that?
It was actually it was very fun. It was like, you feel so, you're so shocked when you hear, I'm going to be presenting a commercial in front of an entire class.
That it's yours. Like
Yeah.
you get to come up with the idea, you execute how it's shot, getting it put together, all of it, right, from beginning to end?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ava, was it overwhelming? Was it scary? Was it exciting? Kind of talk through how you felt about that.
It was really exciting. I didn't really feel that overwhelmed because I agree with Kaden. It was like, oh, we're going to be presenting a commercial. We're going to be recording it at the store. It was just really exciting.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about each of your commercials in a minute, but first, Mike, I want to ask you about, I love this because it's a partnership between your students, your class, and the community. Can you talk about that partnership that develops as this project gets underway?
Right. I mean, I always feel it's important. Can we find a way to bring the community into the classroom and vice versa? And this project really gives us that opportunity to get the kids out there and get hanging out with businesses and talking to them, and how can we work with them. And it provides an opportunity not only to get the students out into the community, but to get the community to understand what we're doing in the classroom and to really work with each other. And my goal is that we make commercials that make the students and parents want to go to these businesses and spend money there, because during the pandemic, who's been hurting? It's our local businesses, right? So maybe this is our way of giving back to the community a little bit. They gave a lot to us with the referendum. Maybe this is a small way that we can give back to them. And I think it's a really great opportunity.
I love that. That's a great way to put it. So your kids are excited. We have a couple here we're going to talk to about their commercials in a second. The community, how do the businesses react? They must be thrilled when this happens too.
Yeah, so these guys, they had two different groups. They both did Poppy and Time. And I remember the first time that I walked into Poppy and Time, the owner, Layla, she's like, oh, I know you. I'm so excited. We've been waiting for you to ask us. So that was really cool to see. And we've had, especially the businesses we had this year, they've worked with us before and they've loved what we've done. And so they're working with us again. So every year that we've done this, we've always seemed to have really good interactions, and the business owners want to do this with us. So it's been good so far.
It's a great partnership. All right, let's talk about your commercials. So you both featured Poppy and Time, a cool local shop here in the Falls that's trying to get through the pandemic. And your commercials are very different, and they're both really, really cool. I'm going to start with you, Caden. Tell me about your commercial. I saw it and I loved it, but if I'd never seen the commercial, describe your commercial for me.
Well, it's about, like how Poppy and Time changed my life to where I was, like a unpopular, smelly boy. And then two girls found me and helped me out, and they gave me some Poppy and Time soap, and they're not popular.
You became fun. You became popular.
Yeah, I was the guy now.
How fun was it to put it together?
It was phenomenal. It was like one of the best things I've done in my entire life.
Was it difficult? Was it more difficult or less difficult than you thought as you thought about it from the beginning, and then how it ended up actually taking place?
Well, I was kind of concerned about the going to the store part, but Layla, she's such a good business owner, and she was so helpful, and she's in our commercial. But yeah, it was just an overall great experience.
Well, you did a great job putting all the pieces together. It was really cool. All right, Ava, you also did Poppy and Time. Tell me about your commercial.
Well, ours is about, we have 4 students who are having a really bad day, all in different scenarios, and they head over to Poppy and Time. Layla gives us a bag filled with a bunch of goodies, and we all feel so much more relaxed and feel like so much more better about our bad day.
Ava, did you think about the help to the community and the help to Poppy and Time and how important it was to focus on local businesses when you were putting this together? Can you talk about that a little bit?
In the beginning, we weren't really thinking about that, but towards the end, we were like, we're doing this for Poppy and Time, so we were really trying to make it the best commercial we could ever do.
You know, one of the things I was excited about when I watched it was, my gosh, look at in Media Creations, they're doing this cool stuff in the middle of the pandemic. We're still doing our thing. Has it been difficult, Caden, learning differently, working on projects differently this year than in other years?
Yeah, and it's super hard and very difficult because, you know, doing projects, you have to meet up with groups out of school, and you know, you got to social distance, and it's just really difficult to communicate with people when you have to do it, you know, over FaceTime instead of being with your friends.
Do projects like this make it more rewarding because you've done something so cool and meaningful?
Yeah, it just like makes your heart warm when you can see, you know, how like you're helping out a local business.
So Ava, I know you're learning a lot virtual these days. When you can work collaboratively on a project like this and be in the community, how important is that?
It's really important that I get to actually work with people in person. It's a really great experience during this pandemic, because during virtual, we don't really do many projects. So yeah, it's really nice.
Mike, I know you're always proud of the work your kids do, and you do a great job, and they do great work. With the challenges that everybody's facing this year, can you take me inside as an educator how you feel about the work that's still getting done?
Well, it's just important to remember how resilient our kids are, you know, and sometimes they're better than us at certain things, right? Maybe perhaps they're more resilient, and you know what? They've had lots of disagreements with ideas for their commercial, yet somehow they tend to compromise and come up with a solution that works, which I think could be a lesson for us, right? But I've just been really impressed how, no matter the obstacle, they really took to having a sense of pride about the work they're doing, which is always nice to see. I think sometimes adults look at kids and go, oh, if only they had pride in their work. Well, you know what? My students have pride in their work, and I think it shows through in the commercials they have.
In addition to these commercials, it was Nino's, it was Whitland's, it was Bank of Flowers, it was businesses, small ones in our community that are still trying to figure it out. You guys did a fantastic job. I'm excited for everybody to see the commercials. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The students from North Middle School stopped by. We had two groups that came by for two very different commercials about Poppy and Time for their media creations class. Working with the kids was great. I actually got to have an acting role in both of the commercials, so that was kind of fun. I think it's just amazing, especially with the way that they're having to do it with the pandemic. I was actually worried that it was going to be canceled because of that, but they figured out a way to make it happen, and I was so excited to be part of it again. I think that they just had to get real creative, and I'm just really thrilled with how it turned out.
What's that smell?
Hey guys.
Caden, do you smell that?
Smell what?
We have a big problem.
What is it?
Teenage boy.
Oh, I think I've got something for you.
This will work. I'm so glad I found you. This is for you.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind.
Take a moment to melt your day away with Poppy and Time.